If you believe that the secret to closing a £5,000 monthly retainer is promising to deliver 50 social media videos, 3 blogs, and a weekly newsletter, you are building a prison for yourself. We've all been tempted by this strategy. When you pitch a high-value corporate client, you feel a deep wave of imposter syndrome. To make your premium invoice feel worth it, you load your proposal up with an absolute mountain of deliverables. You think you're showing incredible value. But let's look at what actually happens. You win the deal, and within 3 weeks, you are absolutely drowning. You're on a never-ending content treadmill, scrambling to produce endless assets just to hit your arbitrary checklist. Worse still, your client is overwhelmed. They don't have time to review 50 videos, they get sick of your constant Slack updates, and they eventually cancel the retainer because you've introduced chaos into their business instead of order. In 2026, premium clients do not buy manual volume. In fact, the more assets you force an executive to look at, the lower your perceived value becomes. High-value clients want a smaller footprint with a massive operational impact. In this episode, we are destroying the deliverable delusion. I'm going to show you why over-delivering assets is actively killing your profit margins, how to shift from asset production to strategic leverage, and how to command a premium £5,000 baseline fee while delivering less physical work. Let's examine the underlying economics of what I call asset bloat. When you sell a high volume of deliverables, you are commoditizing your business. If a company pays you £5,000 for 50 pieces of content, they are valuing your work at exactly £100 an asset. You have structurally trained them to think of you as a factory worker. The moment a cheaper factory worker or an automated tool comes along that can spit out content faster, you are instantly replaced. Furthermore, every extra asset you promise increases your internal failure rate. More assets mean more rounds of client feedback, more rendering delays, more compliance bottlenecks, and more administrative friction. Your actual hourly margin plummets into the floor, even though the top-line number looks impressive on paper. Elite creative architects operate on a completely different framework, the law of minimum necessary intervention. Your goal shouldn't be to see how much content you can force into a client's pipeline. Your goal is to figure out the exact 1 or 2 high-impact assets that will solve their conversion bottleneck. If a single re-architected video or a targeted system layout yields a £50,000 return for their brand, that single asset is infinitely more valuable than 100 generic social posts that achieve nothing. The reason most creators default to packing their proposals with high deliverable volume is because they lack the authority to sell pure strategy. When you are a lone freelancer pitching via email, you use deliverables as a shield to hide your lack of structural positioning. This is exactly why we engineered the positioning layer inside AgoraLeads. Our matching framework completely changes what a corporate client sees when they look at your business model. AgoraLeads does not match creators based on how many hours they can grind or how many files they can export in a week. Our system is built entirely on bottleneck matching. We extract the enterprise client's exact operational leak, like a drop-off in their retention funnel or an inefficient acquisition cycle, and map it against your specific system workflow. When you walk into a client meeting routed through AgoraLeads, the conversation is already locked onto the high-level business outcome. The client isn't counting how many graphics are in your package. They are paying for the architectural solution to their pain point. By validating your authority before the discovery call ever starts, AgoraLeads frees you from the deliverable arms race, allowing you to charge elite UK and international corporate rates based on raw system performance rather than manual volume. Stop trading raw asset numbers for pennies. Secure your productized positioning profile at AgoraLeads.ai. If you want to strip out asset bloat from your next client proposal, you need to use the leverage over labor framework. When a prospect looks at your high-ticket proposal and asks, well, what exactly am I getting for this monthly fee? Can you give me a breakdown of the asset count? You do not freeze. You reply with this exact script. If you want a content mill that floods your channels with high-volume, uncontextualized assets, there are thousands of low-cost agencies that will sell you that by the dozen. Our framework is built entirely on asset optimization. We don't guess, and we don't pollute your pipeline. We engineer a targeted architectural sprint that isolates your specific conversion leak. We limit our output to the exact core assets required to hit your quarterly target, eliminating review friction for your team and maximizing velocity. You aren't paying us to create noise. You are investing in a system that extracts maximum revenue from a minimal footprint. Look at how beautifully that flips the power dynamic. You have just framed their desire for a high asset count as a wasteful amateur strategy. You make them realize that a lean, high-speed solution is a luxury, while a mountain of messy deliverables is just homework for their executive team. Your action plan for this week is to ruthlessly trim your current client proposals. Look at your active retainers or upcoming pitches and cut the deliverable count in half. Focus entirely on clarifying the business impact of those remaining assets. Stop hiding behind high volume and start standing firmly behind your strategic logic. We break down these elite agency scaling systems every single week to help you escape the freelance treadmill and run a highly profitable creative operation. If you are ready to permanently upgrade your business mindset, hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss an episode. And if you want to immediately stop begging for work based on deliverable spreadsheets, let our network do the heavy lifting. Go to AgoraLeads.ai, build your validated architecture layout, and let the system connect you with premium partners who value efficiency over manual labor. Stop building content mills. Start deploying high-leverage assets.